Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is all about preparation on a real chessboard with no digital interface. So now you are able to understand the Ruy Lopez closed Chigorin by following a 15-move line of a strong preparation. Let's jump right into it. White opens with the king's pawn, controls the center, the f5 and d5 squares, and opens up this long diagonal to the bishop. Black's response, pawn to e5, a solid one, contesting the center as well, and controls d4. And white follows up with knight f3, developing the knight towards the center, attacks the e5 pawn. That is undefended. Knight c6 also develops the knight towards the center and protects the pawn on e5. Bishop b5, the characteristic move of the Ruy Lopez opening, developed the bishop to attack the knight on c6 and puts pressure on e5. Black goes a6, forcing the bishop to decide either go back or exchange for the knight on c6, which white retreats his bishop and keeps the pressure on the knight, pressure in the center as well. Here comes knight f6, develops another piece, attacks the e4 pawn, and also controls d5. And white immediately castles it out and puts his king on safety. Maybe activates the rook to e1 next move and protects the pawn on e4. And black goes for bishop e7, develops the dark square bishop and prepares to castle. White goes for rook e1, a simple move, protects the pawn on e4 and centralizes the rook. We have b5 on the board, attacks the bishop and forces it to go back to b3, which white already did it, and with the b5 move, black also gained some space on the queen side. This is a well-known theory, guys, already played out hundreds of times before. d6, defending the e5 pawn and opens up this long diagonal to the bishop. c3 controls the center, the d4 square, and protects the b4 square also, prepares the d4 break on the center and makes way to his bishop. Black goes for knight a5, trying to get the bishop pair, attacking the bishop on b3, which white immediately escapes with the bishop and goes bishop c2. Pawn to c5, attacking the center and grabbing more space on the queen side. The maneuvering of the knight to a5 a few moves ago also allows this move. And we have h3 on the board, defending the g4 square and preventing the bishop to go there and pinning the knight on f3. And black goes bishop d7. Black's rather plays bishop d7 than b7 to guard this diagonal, mainly to protect the f5 square from the white's knights later. d4, fighting the center and opening this diagonal to develop the bishop. This also threatens to win the e5 pawn, which black already trades the pawns, and with this trade black opens up this c-file and releases the pressure on the center. White just takes back the pawn, and this allows the knight to go to c3 and maybe later jump to d5. Black just simplifies even more the center and at the same time makes a square for the knight on a5. For example, when the knight on a5 will be on c4 and is kicked away from the pawn to b3, then it can jump from c4 to e5 and stay very centralized. Black castles it out and puts his king on safety, and a good plan for black will be puts his rook on these active files. Knight bd2 develops his knight towards the center and looking forward to maneuvering his knight to g3. With this, white is threatening to reinforce the presence of the knight on f5 and be able to create some threats later. In the meantime, black centralizes his rook, as we said before, a good move. Knight f1, white just continues his plan and brings another piece to the king side. And black goes for bishop to f8. Black moves back the bishop, clearing the way to the rook, and maybe planning to reroute his bishop to g7, controlling this long diagonal. This was a training, instructive, and educational content that allows you to learn how to play this strong preparation. By following a 50-move line, you stay focused on that variation from start to finish, avoiding getting lost in excessive nuances. So you reach the end of this line with greater clarity. This preparation is very accurate because most of the moves are theory, the well-known moves played hundreds of times before, and then a few moves suggested by the computer. This content is important to you, not only to know the moves of this variant and memorize them, but to understand the line and the ideas behind. So the challenge for you to learn and improve is this great opportunity to follow these 4 steps. Comment your thoughts below. Suggest a new opening for me to do another strong preparation for you. Oh, and just subscribe to be part of this community. There is a lot of high quality preparation coming your way. A huge and sincere thank you to you.